funk. To the land of funk, to the land of...
Hi, everybody. Welcome. Thank you so much for coming. Yes, get loud. We have Cher in the house. That's right. Not only that, but we have Congresswoman Susie Lee in the house. Yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for coming out. My name is Frances Netos. I am with the NV Dems, the coordinated campaign. I've been with the Joe Biden campaign for a little over a year and a half now. And I am pumped. I am pumped not only because we have the Queen and Congresswoman in the house, but because we're 10 days away from Election Day. We need all hands on deck. And when I say all hands on deck, we do. We not only need to win here, but we need to win by a landslide. So please do me a favor while you're waiting for the Queen herself to hop on stage. Go to nvdems.com/events and sign up for as many events as you can. Help us talk to as many voters as you can in your neighborhood because we are going to need it. This year is the most important year of most of our lives. And mine in particular, I just feel like I've never worked so hard for something, and it's going to pay off. I know it is. So please, please sign up for a shift. Sign up for 2, 3 if you can. We need you, and Nevada needs you. So thank you so much for being here. And I have the honor to introduce Congresswoman Susie Lee.
Hello, everyone. All right, I'm taking my mask off because I'm not within 6 feet of anyone else. And I want you all to hear me. First of all, who in this audience wishes that we could turn back time? Well, guess what? We can't turn back time. But what we can do is what you all have been doing, which is hitting the phones, hitting your text messaging, hitting the doors to make sure that we elect Democrats up and down the ballot. Joe Biden claims, and we all know it's true, that the soul of this country is on the ballot. We think about this administration. I don't know about you, but I've walked around like this for the past 4 years. I've been shaking my head like no every single day because I wake up and I'm like, it can't get worse. And it does. And I must say, I'm so excited to be here, for all of us to be here with the goddess of pop, Cher, mostly because I think we all miss live entertainment, right? We miss, I see the AV guys here. We miss putting our people to work. And the reason is that this pandemic has hit our city harder than anywhere in this country. And it didn't have to be that way. It didn't have to be that way if we had a leader that recognized the science, if we had a leader that took steps, just wore a damn mask, all right? But guess what? We know that we need someone with a plan, and that's exactly what Joe Biden has. And I always say when I'm in crowds like this, and I've listened to so many political speeches, I am so tired of the Republican Party claiming that they are the party of family values. You know why? Democrats are the party of family values because we take care of families, all types of families. Think about it right now in this middle of this pandemic. We passed the HEROES Act 5 months ago. We have people who've been out of work since March. Their unemployment benefits have expired. We have 400,000 people at risk of eviction. We got to work in the House of Representatives. We said this is not enough. The Families First Act, the CARES package that got money into the hands of Americans, we need another package. And guess what Mitch McConnell said? I don't think so. And so it sat there for 5 months. But we got to work, and I'm telling you, I am a one-issue congresswoman right now, and that is getting another package and getting aid into the hands of the American people. The American people who have lost their livelihoods so we could save lives. And I thank everyone in this community, because Nevada will come back better and stronger before. We always have, and we always will. But we need leaders. We need leaders in our assembly. We need leaders in our state senate. We need leaders in our city council. And we certainly need to put me back in Congress. Because the guy I'm running against, okay, first of all, he calls himself Big Dan. All right, how many guys in here do you call yourself Big first? Okay, I got some issues with a guy who has to start his name with the word big. To me, that means there's something wrong in that. And not only that, he walks in and says, I'm going to take a chair to the back of Washington. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, I've been in Washington for 2 years. I've been ranked as the most bipartisan, one of the most bipartisan members of Congress. And we have serious problems in this country. We got to get people back to work. We got to take on climate change. We got to deal with our broken immigration system. We have so many issues that require leaders not to take chairs to the back of each other. Let's quit putting lines in the sand, and let's pull up chairs. Roll up our sleeves and talk about the issues that Americans want us to work on. That's what leadership is about, and that is what is on the ballot in the Congressional District 3 here in Nevada. Now, I'll tell you what, Donald Trump's coming after Nevada. He's been here, every week, so he could stay at his hotel, the Trump Hotel. And, you know, he's been in Congressional District 3 a lot. And that's because they know that a victory for Joe Biden, because that's the only victory that's going to happen in this state, goes straight through Congressional District 3. So listen, I don't have to tell you the difference between me and Big Dan. All I got to say is when you look at people on the ballot, all you got to do, when you think about what someone's going to do in the future, look at what they've done in the past, right? I've been here for 25 years. I've taken on the homeless issue. I took on our after-school problem when the Clark County School District cut funding for after-school programs. I took on our high school graduation problem. And I didn't do it by taking a chair to the back of anyone. I did it by bringing people in and solving problems and talking to each other and collaborating and working. And that's exactly the type of leadership we need in Washington. So listen, no Democrat has ever been reelected to Congressional District 3. This has been drawn as a swing seat. It's gone from Democrat to Republican, back and forth. And basically, they want to put it in the Republican hands. But we're not going to let it happen. And the reason we're not is because every one of you, how many of you voted already? Yeah, I love that. But now you got to get other people to vote. I want each one of you to take this challenge. 5 people. 5 people. I want you to identify 5 people. Go to the grocery store. You're checking out. Ask the person who's checking you out. Ask the guy who's bagging, the woman who's bagging your groceries. You vote? Anyone you see, ask them if they voted. Give them a plan, because that is how we will win this election. It will be tight, and I need every single vote. We need every single vote in this state to turn out. And I know that all of you have been committed, working, making phone calls, texting, knocking on doors. Now we got to bring those voters out and bring them to the ballots. And that's how we win in Nevada. So I'm really excited tonight with our special guest. First of all, when you think about all of the entertainers on the Strip who have been dark, for so many months, the soul of our community. And you think about the place that Cher held at Caesar's Palace, and how many of you have seen the show? I mean, incredible. And so we know that we have hope on the ballot, and that we are going to deliver a package that's bigger and better and gets aid into the hands of the American people. We know that we have a president in Joe Biden who leads with compassion. He's got a heart, okay? I mean, look at this president. One of the first moves, he banned transgender military, he banned transgender military aid, men and women from serving in our military. But then not only that, when he's in Charlottesville and says there's good people on both sides. I don't know about you, but if there's someone walking down the street shouting hateful speech, I don't think that's a good person. And that, to me, is what we're talking about when we talk about the soul of this country. And we, in our community, especially Nevada, I mean, people move here from all over. They move here to have opportunities on the Strip. They move here because of our great public lands. They move here to enjoy. I mean, honestly, this is a wonderful quality of life that we have here in Southern Nevada. And we welcome them because diversity makes us better. It makes us better when we accept people instead of labeling them. And we know that. And I'll tell you what, I've been an education advocate for 25 years. I've worked with some of our most at-risk students. And I will say that when I look at families and I look at, as a member of Congress, what I need to do and the family values that we embody, I think family values is making sure that families earn a livable wage. I think family values is making sure, especially now when we've seen millions of people get a pre-existing condition, that we don't take health care away from people with pre-existing conditions. I think family values, I'm a mother of two. I have a daughter named Nevada, and for the record, I wasn't planning on running for Congress when I named her, and a son. I want to leave them with a planet. Climate change is real, it's existential. And we need a president that is going to hit the ground running on day one, not just with a climate change package, with an infrastructure package, and recognizing the disproportionate impact on our communities of color and our low-income communities of climate change. And so I have to just tell you that I've met Joe Biden several times. Cher, she endorsed Joe Biden out of the gate. She's always been a leader, right? She's always been ahead of her time. Only because I look around at the families that I've served for 25 years. I look around at the families that are suffering, and I think about the type of leadership that we're going to need, because it's going to be a long road, and we're going to need someone who's been tested. We're going to need someone, by the way, who led us out of the 2008 recession with the Recovery Act. We're going to need someone who brought us the Affordable Care Act and health care. And I'll tell you, it's a very personal issue to me. Many of you know I grew up, I'm one of 8 children. I grew up in Canton, Ohio, Steel Town, in the 80s when it was a rust town. And at the age of 56, my father was laid off. I was putting myself through college, working 3 jobs, working in the cafeteria, putting books in the library, and my father lost his job. And he was an engineer. And he would go to work with his slide rule and his computer, his calculator in his pocket, except at the time that he lost his job, the young bucks now had computers. So he came home that night. He knew he didn't just lose his job, he lost his career. And when we think about what has happened in our community and the many people who have been put out of work and the road we have back, we need to know that we have a fighter who understands the stress that families are under, but more importantly, who will have a plan to bring jobs back, not just the jobs we lost, but new jobs. And we have such incredible opportunity in our state. I mean, look at our renewable energy industry, drone technology, healthcare, manufacturing. But we need someone who's going to be in Washington fighting every single day to make sure that any penny that can come to our state will come to our state, and that we get that funding into our higher ed, our community college intern programs, so that we can get people back to work. And to me, that's the fight that we're up for in Washington. 2 minutes? Okay. They're telling me how much time I have left, but anyway, before I end, I got to introduce my partner, Dan Lee, my husband, who is back here. I think you guys have heard a little bit about him lately, you know, because he had a company too, like we all did, that got shut down, and he had to save those jobs, and that's exactly what he did. And I advocated for our most important industry running our state budget, which is the gaming industry. And so when Dan Rodheimer attacks me, I just say, you know what? This is what a woman does when she goes to Congress. She stands up and does her job because it's right. Because when gaming was cut out of the CARES package, when small businesses, oh, by the way, I got to give a shout out to Bryce, owner of DW Bistro. He's not here right now, unfortunately, because he has COVID, but it is his birthday. But, you know, small operators like Bryce and tavern owners who got some of their revenue from gaming, they called me up and said, wait a minute, we can't get the PPP program? What? I got employees. And that's when our delegation got to work, because we know that gaming has been the fuel of our economy. But more importantly, it's about payrolls for everyone, not just some people. And so anyway, so we are getting ready for the main event. All right. So the goddess of pop is in the house. And I think she needs no introduction. But what we love about Cher is she endures and endures and endures. She has been an icon, a leader, and we are so excited that she chose Las Vegas for her residency and entertained us for years and years and years. And I can't wait. Who's excited? Let's get some hands up. Come on, let's get some energy. Cher is in the house. The goddess of pop is here, and she's here for a reason, because she's always been a leader for what's right in this country. And what is right for this country right now is Joe Biden and Kamala Harris in the White House. And I can't wait for all of us. Here she is.
Here I am. And who do we want to win? Okay. All right, I'm ready. And then we'll talk, and then I'll sing, and then I'll wave goodbye, and then that will be it. Chiquitita, no que llorar. Las estrellas brillan por ti allá en lo alto. Quiero verte sonreír para compartir tu alegría, chiquitita. Put on my blue suede shirt. ticket. I'm as blue as a girl can be. And I'm walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. I'm walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? Saw the ghost of Elvis on Union Avenue, followed him up to the gates of Graceland, and I watched him walk right through. Now security, they did not see him, they just hovered around his tomb. But there's a pretty little thing waiting for the king down in the jungle room. When I was walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. I'm walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? I'm walking in Memphis. I'm walking with my feet 10 feet off the beat. I'm walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? They got catfish on the table. They got gospel in the air. Reverend Green, be glad to see you when you haven't got a prayer. But boy, you got a prayer in Memphis. Now Gabriel plays piano every Friday at the Hollywood, and they brought me down to see him. He asked me if I would do a little number, now sing with all my might. He said, "Tell me, are you a Christian child?" I said, "Man, I am tonight. I'm walking in Memphis, walking with my feet 10 feet on the field. I'm walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? I'm walking in Memphis. I'm walking with my feet 10 feet on the field. I'm walking in Memphis. Do I really feel the way I feel? I put on my blue suede shoes. Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm here to talk about Joe and Kamala, and I've known Joe since 2006. And this is what I think that's something really important, and that is you cannot build anything unless you build it on the truth. And I believe that that's one of Joe's great attributes, is he is honest, he is truthful, he knows what he's doing, he's smart. I mean, he's not gonna come in with no one. He's coming in with the best people, and they're ready to work, and they're ready to try and change what this man in the White House has done. He is ripping the guts out of America. If he got 4 more years, we wouldn't recognize it. We wouldn't have any of the freedoms that we have. I don't even know that we're gonna be able to get the freedoms back. It's gonna take a long time to get the freedoms back that we've taken for granted, and especially that young people have taken for granted. They don't know. Like, when I was a young girl, which is so many years ago, I can't remember, but when I was a young girl, women were introduced by their husbands' names. They would be introduced as, "Oh, this is Mrs. John Richards." And I would say to my mother, "What kind of bullshit is this?" I was about 10. And I've seen what has gone on. I have seen how we've changed as a group of people, especially women. Not everybody. I see that I was so ignorant too until cell phones came out. I didn't know what was going on in the Black community. I didn't know what was going on in the Latino community. Not that I didn't know, but I never saw it. So I am excited about making this world a better place. I'm excited about Joe making this world a better place because he wants to. I have talked to him about this. This is not my conjecture. This is me talking to him. And also I was saying, like, what are you gonna do, dude? What are you gonna do about this? What are you gonna do about that? I hope you're gonna do something like this. Or is anything gonna be green? Are we gonna, he's got this idea to make jobs where there were no jobs before. He's got an idea how to make jobs where there were no jobs before. And I don't know if people, they're good jobs, they pay well, and I'm not sure if people care what kind of a job as long as it's honest, it pays well, and it doesn't kill you. So yes. Oh, thank you. Also, I wanted to tell you this, and it's by way of explaining something about me that you don't know. So my grandmother picked cotton, and my grandmother picked cotton with my mother on the gunny sack. And it was a very rough existence. My mother got a job. My mother had a job where you called in every day to see if you had a job for the next day. Was there a time that was really horribly embarrassing for me? I mean, it's something I'm never gonna forget. And where I lost the soles of my shoes, and so I had to put rubber bands around the soles of my shoes so I could walk to school. So when I say I understand what people are going through, you never forget this. I never will forget the things that I had to go through when I was young, and I want people to have better. I want people to feel good about themselves. I want them to have a good living. I want schools to be decent, and not just for rich kids. I want schools to be decent for everyone. I have a friend named Karen Weaver. She was the mayor of Flint, Michigan. And I saw what she had to go through. They gave her nothing. They lied about everything. And she got fired because she was bugging the governor and she was trying to get water for her people. So just because, a lot of times it seems like the people at the top are telling the truth. Well, that doesn't necessarily mean anything, because the people at the top can be big liars because they want power and money. And that's what they want. And some of them will do anything to get it. So, and I know what I'm talking about because I've been around some of those people. Not for long. So anyway, I just want you to, go to www.iwillvote.com and vote, because if you don't vote, we'll have nothing, If he gets another term in office, if he gets another 4 years in office, we will have nothing, We will have Putin's idea of what heaven is. We will have Erdogan's idea of what heaven is. We will have all of these people, all these autocrats, who will have his ear, who will be paying him money, and we will have no power, So I want us to have some power, and I want people to have a good living wage, and I want women to get help when they have children, and I have asthma, I can pay for it, but what about people when they take away your pre-existing conditions and they can't do it? You can't get anything. So I don't want to see them do that. And they've been trying to do this from the day dot, okay? These guys are so full of shit. Anyway, good night and thank you.